Okay, so decided to play a little bit of THQ's new shooter Homefront, which, if you don't know, is THQ's new shooter with the story being written by John Milius, who wrote, Apocalypse Now and, oh, excuse me, Red Dawn, which are fantastic films. But this is his first exploration into video games, which I'm only about a level and a half into it, so I mean, you can't really take my opinion very seriously, but this is just the first impressions. The universe that has been set up in this game, I love it. I want more of it. I will beat this game. I will actually go through this entire story just to see what's going to happen next because I like the idea. But I have to take it with a grain of salt because the actual game is very broken. It's very ugly. Its textures are awful. Like everything looks like something that belongs on the PlayStation 2. In the textures, the actual models look like something that you would expect on a a 360 game. Like it's action packed. There's a lot of enemies. I mean, it's something that the PS2 could not render. However, they put it in PS2 quality style graphics, which is very disappointing. Like honestly, the game looks like if you took Call of Duty and toned it down to, or actually let me rephrase that, Call of Duty Black Ops and toned it down to the levels of black on the PlayStation 2, which isn't a bad thing because that is actually a pretty good game. Um, but Homefront is not. Um, the shooting feels off by a lot of the guns. A lot of the guns are pretty much the same thing. They like didn't really give you a whole lot of variety. It's mostly machine guns and a couple of pistols every now and again, which is cool. But like, it's really just machine guns, which I really kind of expected a little more. The vehicle combat, there really isn't any so far. Like I got to control like some big tank with a remote, which was cool. But it's future, so everything's got to be on remotes and shit. But whatever. And the gameplay itself, like progression, that's what I'm gonna go with. Progression is flawed. If I have to be in a specific spot to be able to progress, not a specific line that I have to cross, that's a problem. So, like, I'm trying to progress through a door because apparently I can't open doors. Me being a pilot and a smart soldier that they have to risk their entire lives to save, apparently can't open a goddamn door, so I've got to wait for my AI to do it for me. Um, they tend to take a while, one, and two, you have to be in a specific spot for them to respond. So I'll be standing there right next to them, just like, dude, are we gonna go? I mean, you seem like this is kind of important, so I'm just gonna keep hanging out here. I'm gonna take a step back and take a breather, and okay, apparently that means we gotta go. So that gets annoying. It's ugly, it's broken, it feels like a game that was not completed. However, the story is fantastic. I love this universe. I want more. I'm having flashbacks to Saints Row because that was another THQ game, coincidentally enough, that the first entry felt broken. It was buggy. There was a lot of times where you would just freeze. The models looked terrible. Everything about the game was just ugly and broken, and I hated Saints Row because of it. But the story was so good. It was made to be bad, but at the same time, I loved the idea of them making like a parody game. So when they finally came out with Saints Row 2, it actually ended up being really good. Um, for a stupid game where you commit insurance fraud and finger girls in a bathroom. So, but ultimately, that was a much better game. So I have a feeling that Homefront will do pretty well, hopefully in sales, so that if it does, they can justify a Homefront 2 with more of a budget behind it, and thus make just a better game. That's just the first impressions. Leave comments if you disagree. I'm going to continue to play it, and I will let you know what I think so far, or with my final results. But that's it so far. Thank you for watching. This is my first video again. It's been a while, but we'll talk about that later, I guess. Thank you guys. I will talk to you later.